Did you listen to Jeff and Professor Hamo in the morning? Here's what you missed.
Alright, yes. It is time to speak to Sasha Mutai. By the way, Kenya Rugby Union is holding elections on March the 20th, which is in about 3 weeks' time. And several folks running for the top seat, including our guest today, Sasha.
Yes.
Others, we tried to get Ezekiel Odur. Turned us down for some reason. We won't talk about that, but we will talk rugby. Because Kenya Sevens, let's admit it, has really been like our greatest ambassadors up until this season. Before we get to the Kenya Sevens story, Sasha, welcome to Hot 96. Good to see you.
Thank you very much.
And by the way, I understand Sasha is a QS.
Yes. Quantity surveyor.
Ala?
Hii ni watu wa kupaga hesabu ya damu. How much does it cost? Tuambie tu. Kama ni ukweli hizi vitu tunaambiwa ama ni movie.
104 billion shillings for 3 days.
Yes.
Sasha, before we go into talk about rugby, this past weekend, Kenya Rugby was thrown into mourning with the death of Impala RFC's Richard Sidindi. Poleni sana, sorry, our thoughts and prayers are with his family. What happened? Apparently he drowned in the pool?
Yeah, at Impala on Monday, and he was playing on Saturday. So, and he's a avid swimmer. So
yeah, that doesn't make sense.
I think that they were doing the postmortem yesterday. Yeah, under the cause.
Oh man, did you know him?
Yeah, I've met him.
Okay. Poleni sana. Poleni sana. All right, switching gears now. Hey, Shuja.
Yes.
This season is pretty pathetic to watch, I have to say. I'm sorry to say it, and we always watch them and we're always hoping for the best. And we had Humphrey Khayange here a few months ago, and he says this is the rebuilding period.
Yes.
Where lots of young players, lots of new players, new faces. But man, number 13.
Unlucky 13.
Nikubaya. Nikubaya.
I'll tell you, the first time Kenya lost to Arabian Gulf, that's in Dubai. It was in 2006. I was the team manager then, I was the director, and Benjamin Ayimba was the coach. And it was a shocker, but not really a shocker because we also went in with a completely new team and it was rebuilding. But the next weekend in George in South Africa, we even had a training game with Fiji, and you could see every 10 minutes of the quarters we were improving. So it's we have the talent, so let's not be scared. But right now, this team has not been given anything, and they're doing the best with nothing. So
this is true. They're doing the best with absolutely nothing. I mean, how? This is the team that we are so proud to say, oh, Shuja, this Shuja, that they're representing us, and yet they can't get a sponsor? I mean, what's the deal?
Wamefanyiwa ni kama hii ya Oliech. Unaoneshwa lakini bado hajakufikia.
Utalipwa baadaye.
This is the opinion.
What's the deal, Sasha?
I think that what happened last year, that was in the news in Paris, when they covered their shots because of whatever happened in Nairobi. Money was transferred to the union, and the overdrafts ate all the money.
Fuliza.
And we all know, when you have a bank overdraft, and somebody sends you money 1201, you see, boom, 2 million. 1202, boom, out, in and out. So that's what happened. So of course the players are pissed off. There are different ways to handle the situation, but blame is to be, spread all over. Yeah. But the union actually made the mistakes there, so I was even asking, was it incompetence? Was it sabotage? What happened? Now, that's why we don't have a main shot sponsor. Bitco is one of the sponsors, and, it's a shame. And right now, we're in a very precarious situation, because one team will be relegated. Right now, we're fighting relegation. We are joint, 13?
13, yeah.
On 12 points, Wales on 11, Japan on 11. And one of those teams is going to be relegated. I've talked to Pau Murunga, the coach, and told him make sure we still remain in because this is the jewel and it's a sexy product of Kenya Rugby. I say when I come in, the money will come back. What we need here is a confidence from corporate Kenya and from the players. So the players have also lost confidence in the union. Another thing is this is the Olympic qualifying year. Okay? So another team we need to support is South Africa. South Africa right now is 4th on the log. The top 4 in the end of the series qualify automatically for the Olympics in Tokyo next year. If South Africa drop, right now they're on 57 points, England is biting on the backs at 55. If South Africa go to 5th, We'll have to face them this year in the Olympic qualifier for Africa.
Oh.
So let's also support
Waende.
soccer.
Waende.
So let's support South Africa. This is a bigger thing as well. And, you know, it's Olympic qualifying year. Yeah.
You know, it's funny you mentioned South Africa because last year they were very good. I mean, top three, in the last few years, top three. And this year, obviously, they lost a few players to, I think they've gone to Super Rugby and the 15s team. Senatla has gone to 15 and a couple of others. They rebuilt, they have a deep bench. In other words, the players, it's a deep bench. So you bring in an 18-year-old, like that kid who's 18, and he's thriving. We don't have this here, Sasha. We lack the depth.
We have the talent. Now, what South Africa has in Stellenbosch, they have the high performance center there. So they have the main team, and then they have like what they call the Imagine box, so the Imagine guys. Now, these players play in other satellite tournaments. Okay. When Safari Sevens was big, we used to have the Emerging Springboks come to Kenya and even win. Now you'll see the people who came here, the players who came here, you know, even became full Springboks. Now we have the talent. The one thing is, talent is falling off the trees in Kenya, in everything, whether it's rugby, football, athletics, even academically, the talent is there, that is no doubt. It's how to nurture this talent, you know. We have to give these players a platform. You have to play better opposition. So, say the Kenya Sevens team is playing the HSBC series. We need to have an emerging side, and we used to do that, playing in satellite tournaments. So basically like in Amsterdam Sevens, Roma Sevens, you know? In South Africa they have a 7 series as well.
But we just don't have the money.
We don't have the money, but we have the talent. Here in Shida.
Why don't we? I mean, the potential sponsorship is there. The Safaricons, the Kenya Airways, you know, the big units. Why aren't they throwing money at teams like this, Sasha?
I'm on confidence in that.
They were there. That's the thing. So they were there and they left. So we have to ask the question. What happened?
Why did they leave?
Nizi overdraft hatuko tumeona. Ulifuliza kitabu alafu kilipo inakuliwa.
Okay, so Sasha, someone would ask you, if you were to become the chairman on March the 20th, what would change?
What we'd do is bring back the confidence. Just a simple thing, the plans are there. If you look at my manifesto, it's 4 pages, you know, the plan is there. What we need to do is, I'm going to work with a group of directors. Some of them are already on the board, and new directors are going to come in. What we need right now is to instill credibility and that sense of, you know, we trust these guys. I've been there before. People have seen the difference between then and now. And the players are complaining. And also, corporate Kenya is telling me the same thing. So I talk to everybody. And they'll be in. It's a no-brainer right now, you know, from January 2017. Corporates put in money into sports sponsorships, get a tax rebate. So everybody, of course, everybody wants to pay less tax. But now, as a business, once your brand is being associated and being seen on a good platform, and you're getting a tax rebate, it's a no-brainer. So the money is there. And these companies are growing. They're always reporting higher profits. So sio ati kuna shida ya pesa. Pesa iko. Yeah, but it's not there right now.
Correct.
And right now, I'm reliably informed that the debt right now is at over 100 million. So if you're running for this thing, people ask, are you crazy? But I have confidence.
100 million?
What?
But so we need to talk to government and to corporate Kenya to come back. And they're waiting on the wings.
And the president is a big supporter, by the way. He's like fan number 001.
Yes.
Huge fan.
Part of the big 4 is sports, because of rugby.
But
you know he loves rugby.
He loves rugby. He played. I remember. So, I mean, 100 million shillings, Sasha. That's ridiculous.
Hii ni pesa ya wachezaji kwa hapo ndani.
I mean, like, the other creditors, so you know, suppliers, over the years. So yeah, I mean, I think maybe I'm also crazy to try and take this up, but I'm crazy about the game, and I think I'm up to the task.
Could you take it out of the red?
Absolutely, it'll be in the black. I think within a year.
And in the meantime, can this team recover? You're saying we hope we're not relegated. The hope is not, you know, we don't become number 15. Las Vegas is coming up, followed by Vancouver. I mean, it's a tough leg, huh?
Yeah, the thing is, don't expect miracles, but these players are very talented. If you saw what they did in Hamilton, they could not replicate it in Sydney. Yeah? So because of conditioning, but the talent is there. You can see these young players exhibiting. It's amazing. So of course I've got faith in them. As I was telling you, in 2006, people forget history, but this is not too long ago. 2006, I was a team manager there, and that's the day it rained 2 days in Dubai. 24 hours. For 2 days, the roads were flooded because in Dubai they don't know how to drive with the water. The roads didn't have drainage. We were flooded out over there, and we lost to Arabian Gulf. Arabian Gulf. They never won a game in the whole tournament. They beat Kenya.
The biggest name.
Imagine, yes. So yes, there's hope definitely.
And the other thing is, what incentive are you going to give these players who are not even professional? They call them semi-pro, right? Because they're working full-time and rugby is like a pastime.
Insurance.
Yes, every other country, the players are all professionals. I mean, how do we compete with those, Sasha?
But we were before. So at one point, say 2013, 2012, 2013, we had a good sponsor in Kenya Airways. We could afford a coach paying him 1.2 million shillings a month. We had the money. We had the structures. The players were paid well, but got earning over 150,000 and bonuses. Some of those players even bought plots of land and started building houses. So they had the money, they had the incentive. So they were tiered. Tier 1 players, Tier 2, and academy. So everybody was fighting to be a Tier 1 player. So I always believe when you work hard, there should be a reward at the end of it. So it's your work and you're rewarded. But yeah, the sponsors definitely will come in, and I think things will be okay.
I saw the other day as they were boarding the plane to head to Las Vegas, Collins Injera was part of the delegation. Thank God, because they could use some wisdom and some experience in there. But again, the Collins will not always be there.
But there's always a new Collins. Every time you go for the local series and you've seen players who are now rookies who have come in, and amazing. Listen, the one thing I'm not scared of is talent. Even if we're relegated, in a year we'll be back if we have the right structures. That's the one thing is. And of course now, as I was saying, we need to have the academy players for Kenya, the Imagine Kenya, play in other satellite tournaments around the world, so they will play better opposition, under pressure. But now you throw a guy on the world scene, straight from, he's just done an exam, and that actually happened. Also in 2006. We got a player who was doing his exam and flew in on the Thursday night, because in Dubai it happens Friday, Saturday. Straight from an exam, into the plane, onto the pitch.
Oh my goodness.
So these stories are there, and we can write a book. It's amazing. But what we go through, and then of course when we beat New Zealand in San Diego 2008, once, and this is a team of amateurs, and we've beaten basically the best team in the world. So I actually shed a tear.
And it's not a fluke.
It's not a fluke, and because we comprehensively beat them. So the talent is there. Once we give these people, these players around everything they need, then we can demand results.
Look at you were talking about paying coaches 1.2 a month, right? Coach Mike Friday. Look at him. Look where he has taken the US team right now. I mean, they are top 5, right?
Actually, they've been in every final.
This year, right?
This year,
The US team.
Consistent, yes. So the thing is, consistency won't just come by fluke. So the way I look at it, the team will do well in the first leg. Second leg, because of conditioning. So don't expect anything else when you don't put in the work. But these guys are doing the most they can with the little that they have. I've got a favorite Latin saying, ex nihilo nihil fit. Out of nothing comes nothing. So if you don't put anything else, don't expect miracles.
Or, better yet, garbage in,
garbage out.
I don't know that. This is now good quality players. They're being given nothing. So but yes, you can actually see, these players are talented. They have the heart. They're playing with heart. And unfortunately, we have failed at the top.
Absolutely, failed at the top, because there's also a contract dispute between Kenya Rugby, the union, and senior players.
So when I come in, we just have to talk. Unfortunately now, the union is not talking to the players, they're talking at them. So we need to talk as much as we want.
Find a solution.
We had problems before. It's not that we are flush with cash, but you have to explain and respect. So you earn respect, you give respect, and you earn respect.
Yeah.
It's not just a one-way street.
3 weeks ago kulikuwa na story ya players ambao wamepata injuries and they don't have money to go to
hospital
yes.
to get the injuries treated.
Yes.
Wow.
No, the thing is there, yes, the insurance ran out. So you always know on 29th of December.
Yes.
That is the worst part of the year. You're like, okay, kuna school fees next month,
Yes.
kuna insurance. Unfortunately, it lapsed. But the insurance was in because to play in the Rugby, which is a World Rugby event, that has to be in place.
Okay.
But it running out and it not been renewed, that's a failure.
Yeah. When you watch on the weekend, Sasha, when you sit in front of your TV and you're watching these guys playing so far this year, do you get a little embarrassed?
I'm embarrassed of how it has gone bad.
Yeah.
But I'm very proud of those players because they are putting their bodies on the line for this country.
Yes.
If you see what they go through and under what conditions they train, and look at the opposition, you'd be very proud. You will not be embarrassed at all. But you'll be embarrassed at the situation that we're in. We're not a poor country.
Yeah.
We're not.
That is such a shame, man. That is such a shame because the commentators are on our side and we're saying good things about Kenya.
Yeah.
The crowds show up for Kenya. In Australia, there's a Kenya section.
Yes.
Kuna watu kama 5K. Yeah, in Vegas as well.
Yes.
The Kenyans show up from across the US. So obviously the goodwill is there.
The goodwill is definitely there, and we need to tap into that. And the goodwill is there from corporate Kenya as well, and worldwide, not just here, because people are waiting in the wings. If you don't, and the thing is, we need to bring back sanity. We need to bring back credibility, and the money will come in. But this we can have all these plans, but if it's not backed by finance, it's a song. No romance without finance.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No romance. Katibu Kai, hebu tafsiri no romance without finance. Najua uko nayo. Najua uko nayo.
Lazima ikue. But imagine before mtu aingie kwa ofisi.
Yeah.
They have this beautiful vision.
Yeah.
Ukifika nini inaharibika? What happened?
Nilikuwa yule tu. But yeah, some things happen. I really don't know. The air up there, maybe the altitude sickness.
It's very thin out there.
But if you look at our competitors, and they're saying we're not scared of going professional. So the older guys are saying, tulikuwa tunaanza na roho nini. But things have changed. Our players, whether it's Simba's team or Shujaa, when they play the opposition, all those guys are professionals.
Yes.
Rugby turned professional after the 1995 World Cup.
Right.
And that's a reality. Things have changed, These days, as you don't have to have money in your pocket. We're just talking about this now.
Yes.
Yeah? You can get your money.
Yeah.
How?
Fuliza.
I've not been paid for this.
Yeah, so you can...
Please come back and sponsor what Absolutely. So these players that the opponents of our team, they're all professionals. So they wake up, train, diet on, and then it's all training, and they have incentives, they're paid well. Our players, as you say, are amateurs.
Yeah.
But that time we were also semi-pro. Our players were being paid good money, and there was that package for you get to the quarter-final, semi-final, final, and it was always changing. The more money we got in sponsorship, the bigger it became. And we used to talk to the players and the management, because the management were former players.
Yeah.
But you have to make it sexy enough for guys to actually do everything. So and people are fighting for that position.
Yes.
If you're in the traveling 12, you're like, yes, already I'm making this kind of money.
Yeah.
And players were making more money from rugby than their day jobs.
Wow.
Yeah. So we need to take it to that place.
Can we?
We can. We definitely can. As I said, this is not a poor country. And the one thing is, the clubs in Kenya also suffered. If you look at the championship side, the nationwide, the team has no sponsor now because rugby right now is not attracting the sponsorship. The team is traveling from Eldoret all the way to Mombasa. So, and it's expensive, they don't have money. But the rugby fraternity here, we're very lucky that they're passionate. So they put it's mchango every weekend, M-Pesa, so for guys to honor fixtures. Guys want to play rugby. They want to. But also politically, we're not even, the teams that have applied for affiliation and it's shot down in an AGM, because of political expediency.
Yeah.
But we need to have more clubs, more players playing, because there's a high attrition rate from Form 4. The guys who join clubs, are not so many. Okay.
Yeah.
So we need to have, that basket there to keep our players. Player retention is a big thing when I come into the union.
So tell me something, Richard, Sasha. Sorry.
Oh, whoops.
Richard's on his way out. Sasha, March 20th is the election. What do we expect? I mean, how many positions are up for grabs? And also the directorships.
Yeah.
Are they also up for grabs?
Yeah, there are 4 directors up and the chairman. So the other 3 officers are in. Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
So they're just going for chairman.
Chairman and 4 directors.
And 4 directors.
Yeah.
And who selects, who votes?
It's the affiliates, the clubs in Kenya. The 12 clubs in Kenya Cup have 2 votes each, and the rest in Championship and Nationwide that are affiliated have 1 vote each. Because you also have clubs that are playing rugby but are not affiliated, so they don't have that vote, which is what I was talking about. That clubs are playing rugby, but they're not being affiliated, so they don't have that political voice. Yeah. So I'm just saying they're also being disenfranchised. I met a group yesterday of clubs from Central.
Right.
Yeah. And they've been playing, they've been applying, and it's been shot down at an AGM.
Because they have no voice, they have no...
Absolutely.
Did you ever play against a guy called Alan Makaka?
Yeah. But he's a young guy that by the time I was leaving.
Was he any good?
He was very fast.
Huh?
Very good. Sasha, he was very proud. He said and actually, he was the fastest player in Kenya. There's one race, I think, unakumbuka, driftwood. There's actually a flat, the flat out race.
Right. And he won it.
Yeah, we won it.
Rombo must have been out of the country.
When Ulinzi was Ulinzi. When Ulinzi was Ulinzi.
Yeah. So yes.
So Makaka, the reason why we're laughing is because Makaka was right behind Sasha, and he was answering, and he didn't know this.
You can't make this stuff.
No, you can't. No, you can't. So Makaka, we turn the tables to you now.
Yes.
Was Sasha any good in his day?
Sasha was a good player. I mean, the thing I like about Sasha, even as he ran for chairman, is that he's played the sport. He understands the challenges. He understands what the players really need. But the thing that I also want to challenge Sasha is do it. You're not somebody who's not been there. You've been there. You've been through the ranks. You understand the problems that the players are facing. The one thing that I really want to challenge Sasha is treat these players right. Take them seriously. When these players are crying, there's something. Listen to them. Right? We've played in situations where we've gone places, and Sasha has been there, we've gone places with no coin in our pockets. But also to the players, I'll also want to tell them that listen to the union as well. Don't do things that will hinder, sponsors from coming in. I mean, there are different ways of channeling emotions or different feelings that are not right.
Sure.
So think about it. Give it some good thought. These times have changed as well. As much as sponsors want to be affiliated with you, they don't want to be embarrassed. So yes, there are new challenges of going about things, there are new ways. But also, Sasha, for players to actually do some extreme measures means they're not being listened to. That means they're not being listened. Come in for the love of the game. Union has become something else. It's become a totally different nightmare. We've become like Kenya Football Federation. Sorry to say.
A joke.
A joke. I mean, siyasa.
Makaka, when you hear they're in debt 100 meter,
Imagine.
100 million shillings.
100 million is a lot.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of
That's
money.
$1 million.
But what does that say? What does that say about the management then? Because money has been coming in. So where has the money been going? Have they been? I'm not saying it's been going anywhere else or in anyone's pocket, but is it being used right in the correct manner? Is it being channeled in the right units? You see. So let's just respect the game, Sasha, as you come in, or rather, if you become the next chairman, respect the game, respect the players, respect. This is such a lovely game, Jeff. For it to be, we were the cleanest union a while back. Why did we start now making headlines of A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H? That's not us. That's not us. Anybody who plays rugby for the love. And the new players, the new crop of players who are coming in. If you think you're going to get rich from playing rugby, then you better stop. Go become a farmer. You're not going to get rich playing rugby. That's the truth. That's the truth, and that's a fact. Jeff, rugby is played out of love
and passion.
Money is secondary. But if you put money first, you are not going to perform.
No.
You're not going to perform. If you look at all the players in the other nations, it's not like football. we are not like football. We'll never be like footballers. We are, even worldwide, Jeff, rugby doesn't pay like football.
No.
So if you think you're going to get rich, become a millionaire from playing rugby, forget it. Go and start a kibanda, go and fuliza, go and do those things. Come with the love of the game. Come and play rugby.
Yes.
And Sasha, respect the players, pay the players. There's nothing as bad as almost losing your life and then you come and you're not paid. And you're not paid. You're told, you're given empty promises.
Yeah.
Jeff.
You can't make this up. This is what you hear. It's passion.
Passion.
It's passion.
Sasha, maybe if you make it on March the 20th, you could want an vice chair.
Yes, naturalness. Yes, the man is passionate.
Clearly, he loves the sport.
Oh, man.
And clearly, the players have been let down.
Yes.
And it's time to turn this around, I think. Otherwise, you know, these guys have made us so proud as Kenyans.
Yes.
So proud. Remember that game in Singapore? Final against Fiji?
Yes.
Just a couple of years ago.
Yes.
It was incredible.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
And it was not close. So we can
31-0 if I remember.
we can compete with the best. Now, I've been there. I've been at the first final in Adelaide when Kenya was playing South Africa, and we beat them in the pool game, but in the final they beat us. But it was amazing. The first final ever that Kenya got, and I was also saying the first time we played New Zealand.
Yeah.
We're beating the best team in the world, basically. And we're from Kenya, we're amateurs, and the guy doing my job there is, for New Zealand is being paid. Yangu ni kujitolea. So, you know, but yeah, the one thing that we don't lack here is the talent, and I'm saying we also have passionate people, like Makaka has just walked in to the studio.
Yeah.
And you cannot fake this. You can fake other things.
This one you
This
can't.
one you can't fake. You either
Passion.
have it or you're done.
Absolutely. By the way, the tweets are coming in thick and fast. George Jalango says, Jeff and Hamos Alimia Mzito. I believe those responsible are listening to this great man. Speak out your mind, sir. Speak out. Big Daddy Cool says, Sasha can change the rugby face in Kenya. Let us support him. We're going to take a break, come back, read more tweets, and also talk about the future of Kenya rugby. Is there a future at all, Sasha? We're going to be asking you that. And earlier on, Sasha referred to a song by Gwen Guthrie, No Romance Without Finance, he says. The actual title of the song is Ain't Nothing Going On But the Rent. You know, we used to party in a place called Ainsworth. Hapa chini, Museum Hill. We called it Ain't Worth It. Gwen Guthrie.
Enzi ya kuacha ile Twitter physical. Enzi ya Twitter physical.
With DJ Paco Perez.
Oh, man, the old man.
The old man.
Yeah?
Those were the days, man. Those were the days. See, ati hapa ati boom 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 ati 52, 1879.
Sasa hii unashangaa nini inafanyika? Modhe.
Fadhali rooftop. This conversation we're having is incredible, folks.
Man.
We're talking rugby, and of course there's a passion. We can tell there's a passion.
Kabisa.
And Kenya has been put on the map, let's face it, by our Shujaa team,
Yes.
which is going through some horrible, horrible growing pains and all kinds of pains. But there is a solution in sight, folks. On the 20th of March, the Kenya Rugby Union holds its elections. They're looking for a chairman. And one of the candidates is in the studio right now. If you're just joining us, Sasha Mutai, former Strathmore, our former rivals back in the day, former superstar, and now he's taking his passion to the boardroom.
Oh, yes.
And of course, since he walked into the room, the fastest man on the field,
Oh, yeah.
Alan Makaka, we told him do not leave. Because obviously there is a passion.
Oh, yes.
Lidoji Jeffrey says rugby needs a quick fix. Makaka was a bullet. Hey, Makaka, is that true?
Well, I did my best during that time.
Sasha,
Labda mtu mwingine amuongelee. Sasa wetu wapi uko?
was he good?
Yes, it was definitely very good. Just play for Ulinzi.
I used to play for Ulinzi, then I needed to brush up on my skills, so I joined Kenya Harlequins.
And
And it was a beautiful, beautiful emergence from there on.
do you miss it?
Rugby?
Yeah.
Yes, I do miss it. Of course, now I can't play competitively, but I do play touch rugby with some of the older gentlemen.
Like Kentimba and the rest of the gang?
KT was a very brilliant guy, by the way. If you ever played alongside KT, you'd see rugby in a very different light.
And he's one of the directors running.
Correct. Correct. So Sasha, I asked you before the break, is there hope for Kenya Rugby? You keep saying the talent is falling off the trees, but they look at this team, they look at the management, and they say, forget this, man. I don't want to be subjected to this. Why should I?
Kwa nini niingia hapa mali 100 million?
Correct. And the Kenya Sevens team is the flagship. This is what is seen. But we have the Simbas, the 15s. And this team was on the brink of qualifying for the 2015 Rugby World Cup. We beat Namibia in Madagascar, also comprehensive. And then we had the luxury to lose to Zimbabwe in the last game by 8 points, but we conspired to lose by 18. So that was the closest really that we even got to playing in a World Cup. Now 15th. The talent is there. Those boys. That team actually played in the Vodacom Cup in South Africa, and they won 1 game and lost, I think, 6, because you're playing better competition. That's what needs to happen. This 15th team as well needs to play better opposition, and the closest we can do it is in South Africa. And we've got friends in South Africa. South Africa, go to Joburg, it's what, less than a 4-hour flight.
Correct.
And the South Africa Rugby Union is willing to help, and they've already told me, you come in, we'll bring you into this Challenge Cup. First year, it'll be hard, we'll lose. Second year, we'll get there. Third year, that's the time now. The most important now is qualifying for also for the 15s for 2023 in France. So 2022 is the qualifying year. We need to be able to beat Namibia, wherever, in Namibia or here, because that's the best team for us in Africa. South Africa is already, just playing nation, they're already in. So and also the women's team, age grade, I'm looking at getting the Ministry of Education involved in having rugby as a curriculum sport in primary school. So that by the time a player is getting to national level, he already knows what to do. If you come and watch a training session with a new Kenya coach, they're going to go back to basics of passing, because these players are the most talented and everything, but some of the basics are not there. And basics, it's like a golf swing. If you have the bad thing at the beginning, that's how it's going to be. Throughout.
Makaka, when you look at this team, and I know you've been watching this rugby, we're at number 13 now. When we were at our best, what were we? Number 5?
We were number 5.
Five. Now we're at 13. We're staring at relegation. What goes through your mind?
I mean, it's really sad of where we've come, because I really don't think it's really about it's our own making, really. You cannot say the game is hard, or it's our own making. From maybe I'd say, and I like the fish rots at the head, right? So I'll start with the head, right? All the way from the chairman of the union, all the way down, because I believe there are measures and there are ways that could have been done to actually be able to mitigate some of these things. Because if you look at some of these things and how they started, it's people complaining, people not being happy, coaches being fired left, right, and center, and we really need to stop these things, Sasha. You get very nice coaches, Kinanamkos, who are these very young coaches who are doing a good job, and then you get emotional about it. Then you as directors sit in a small room and you decide, you know what, get him out. And that's always the solution. Fire the coach. Come on. I mean, when a guy is doing a decent job, and you see, a coach is the bridge between you and the players is the coach, and the coaching staff.
Look at Ayimba.
Look at Ayimba. Again, same thing. And you see, what we're noticing is a trend.
He did nothing wrong.
What we're noticing is a trend. When the coaches come and cry, and you see the coaches listen to the players, they spend a lot of time with those players, they understand those players inside out. That coach would understand when that player is on form and that player is not on form. What is ailing that player, physically, emotionally, and financially. So when they're coming to you and telling you, listen guys, this is what is happening, then you guys your response is fire Ayimba, fire Namkos. I mean, then what?
And all they did was speak the truth.
It's the truth.
So they don't want people to speak out.
You see now, even in an organization, when you have a high turnover, that shows there's something
wrong.
If you go to a shopping mall and there's a high turnover of tenants, there's something wrong with that place.
Absolutely.
So if you come to an office here and there's people are coming in and leaving every year, there's a problem.
Correct.
So, it's
which then shows, will you ever get high grade coaches anymore? Because now everybody knows, job security, zero.
Look at Mike Friday. We just talked about before you came in, Makaka. Mike Friday, who's now coaching the team that's been in every final this year so far. In a few short years, by the way. A few short years. the US team, and it's not just because of that speedster, whatever his name is.
I mean, if you look at the players they've developed, if you look at Black Friday's team, there's consistency.
Yeah.
Those players have developed. All of them can be counted upon to deliver. You understand? It's not dependent on one Colonel or the other tall guy. It's not dependent on Perry. It's not dependent on that. It's dependent on the entire unit. You know, and that's what he brings, and that's what Namco's brought, and that's what Nani Benja brought. Yeah. And then what happens? Mike Friday is not being fired. They understand. They respect him as a coach. They listen.
And he speaks out. Believe me. He's telling America, if this is going on, believe me, he's speaking out.
Yeah.
It's not that he's very docile and everything. You cannot get far by just being docile.
Will you speak your mind, Sasha?
And I will let everybody speak their mind as well, because you need to know when things are going wrong. When people are scared, you know, then the organization will die. But people have to be able to approach you and tell you what the problem is, and you have to be humble enough to take that in. If you're making a mistake, own up to it and correct it.
Do you have any questions for Kenya Rugby, folks? 0722
20 88 20
0734
20 88 20.
March 20th is the elections. Kenya Rugby Union, Sasha Mutai, one of the candidates running for chairman. There are also 4 directorships up for grabs. Maybe this is the time to turn this whole mess around. Makaka, is there hope for Kenya Rugby?
There is hope for Kenya Rugby, and I'd like to mention one thing also to Sasha. Sasha, you need to also, if you become the next chairman, you need to realize the value of Kenya Rugby as a brand. You know, are you guys getting, even these sponsorships, when you guys negotiate them, are you getting the best out of it? I mean, advertising. I know the value of a brand. You know, by the time I'm going to you and coming to tell you, listen, Sasha, I want you to put money on Hot 96. I know the value, I know the reach, I know everything. I know my homework. I've done my homework. Do the people who negotiate for this sponsorship do their homework and understand the value, right? Because critical, one thing that the sponsors need is return on investment. Do you have the return on investment for the players, for the sponsors? And at the same time, do the sponsors give you what you're worth? What you're worth? Because we see deals here and you just laugh. You just laugh.
It's ridiculous.
Right. And probably the reason why you might struggle getting out of that 100 million debt is because you don't really understand the value of the brand.
Let's go to the phones, folks. Hot 96, you were on the air. You were on the air.
Yes, left shortly. And you see,
Hot 96, you were on the air. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm good. Who's this? Judy from where?
From Kikuyu.
From Kikuyu. Judy.
Yes, I'm about 26 one. I'm ready to work, but I've been listening to what you're saying today. Sure, these rights designers some of them are even gone out of the country, against the country. Why? Because they're not managing this thing very well. And I think it's a good thing.
Thank you very much, Judy. Thanks for your question. Judy says, the players, they said, forget this. I'm out of here. I'll go to England. I'll go to, some other place, and I'll make some money.
Let me go to Ragoko.
Why should I go through all this stress, Sasha? You see that? You get that? Isn't it a shame?
It's a shame, but we've just said it. We just rehashed everything I've just said before. These guys are, Awani was a lender. They love the country and they love the game. So they're putting their bodies on the line.
Absolutely.
They're doing their job. The playing unit is doing their job. It's time for the office to do its job.
Art 96, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hello, Secretary.
Yeah, who's this?
Okay, I'm from Joro.
From Joro. Talk to us.
Okay,
Namshukuru mgeni.
Okay.
You too.
That's awesome.
He appreciates Mutai very much.
And you see, it's not at the Kenya Rugby, it's a whole story. Safari 7 everything we have to stop everything
it was incredible.
I mean,
Phones, Hot 96, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, the man 6 Kabara. So I was like, my little brother was to play rugby, but when we were in Nakata, they be like, it's very risky So how do they, watafanya aje ifike like watakubalia kwa watu wanapenda nyumbani?
Asante sana, thanks for your question.
Asante.
So when you start age grade rugby from 6 under 7, you don't go into physical contact. You play tag rugby, so you learn the skills of passing, seeing space. It's just basically passing left, right, and enjoying. And boys and girls play together. It's not separated.
Right.
When you start going out into physical, because now you need to learn the skills first before you engage in a physical tackling and all that, which can be dangerous, yes, if you don't do it properly. And there have been injuries. It's a contact sport. That's the reality. The good thing is the rules also been changed year in, year out, when they realize that when the World Rugby says there's a problem here, it's dynamic.
Yeah.
But age grade rugby is one thing that I want to bring in primary schools. That's what I was saying. We're going to engage with the Minister of Education to have rugby as a curriculum sport, which also comes with a budget from the Minister of Education, so that the kids can learn the game and enjoy it,
Yeah.
And boys and girls will play together until now, when the time to separate happens. And I travel all over the world and I see it happening. Even here in Kenya, we used to have cults. You come into Form 1, and we were lucky enough to start playing rugby at 14. But the rest of the world, rugby playing nations, start playing at 6, 7.
That's right.
So already they have a 7-year head start on it. And that's a big.
How do you compete?
When you talk about the 10,000 hours of you become an expert.
Yes.
When you look at Brazil, unfortunately, many of those players come from the favelas. So they're going to school, whatever. All they're doing is playing football. It's not that they're more talented than anybody else in the world. A kid of 14 has already done his 10,000 hours, so he's an expert. So we need to start rugby early. Yeah.
And you're trying to compete with that, How? Hot 96, you are on the air. Good morning. Yeah, Nani Ndugu. Okay. Amesalimika.
Yes.
People are just calling to say hello to Sasha.
Kwani uko na kampeni gani? Labda unatafuta ofisi tofauti. Naona hapa Mwangi Mkenya.
One more call.
Yes.
Hot 96, you are on the air. Good morning. Yeah, who's this? Huh?
Hello, Mkaido?
Kutoka wapi?
Yes.
Sasha, what is this? You have a following here?
Kiambu.
Paka Kiambu.
Kiambu ndio rugby mashinani.
Okay, Mwangi Mkenya says,
Yes.
Rugby mashinani is the way to go. Build a strong foundation,
Yes.
and you can rest assured of a bright future ahead.
You can see the picture.
And Sir Alano says, the problem is that all that talent and passion dies in the pockets of the people who we thought were reliable.
Oh, yes.
Time for change in Kenya Rugby.
Kabisa.
Got a minute to go before the end. Makaka, you go first. Closing thoughts.
Sasha, with all said and done, mine is just think about the game, think about the players, think about the units. And when I say the units, I mean from coaching to the players to even the other arms of Kenya Rugby Union. Don't just think of 7s, don't just think of 15s, don't think of the ladies teams, think of the age grade, think of the under 18s, think of all of them as a whole. And that's really how you're going to really bring this thing out. Secondly, think of the discipline in the team, because we've had issues with discipline here, left, right, and center. Are you guys mentoring these players? Do we have sessions of training where you can teach them financial management? At the same time, think about the players that do get injured and think about the players that we've lost, right? What happens to them? Do they just get forgotten? We've had people who really suffered for the love of the game, right? People who've lost their lives. We have people who've gotten hurt badly. How do you as a union come in to appreciate such players? Because they did a commendable job for them. You don't want somebody gets hurt and then you forget about them. You understand? Think about those guys as well.
Sasha, you get the last word.
So the rugby values are integrity, respect, solidarity, passion, and discipline, and that is what I bring to the table. It's simple. It's those 5. That's the last word that I have.
Wonderful. March 20th is the elections, Kenya Rugby Union.
Yes.
Folks, it is time. And if we don't do it now, then you might as well shut the door, because Kenyan rugby will never ever get any better than it was before. We need to take it to the next level, and we need to do it together. All hands on deck. Sasha Mutai, thanks so much for coming over. Good luck in the elections. Makaka, as always, thanks for your passion. Unanunua breakfast here. This is what we call.
Catch Jeff Koinange and Professor Hamo every day, Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. only on Hot 96.